team that was pretty much the constant, consistent in this conference over the last decade, in this division over the last decade, and that's going to be none other than the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans finished 7-10 last year, but this might be the worst 7-10 you'll ever see in your life. The team was 6-2, wound up going 1-8 by the time the season ended. They were actually the number one team in the AFC before their losing streak started. And that's just, the quarterback got hurt. He wasn't healthy. They had a rookie quarterback that pretty much was a guy that was still needs time to learn the position and learn the job. And then they also had a running back that wasn't 100% all the way. The focal point of their team was not 100% last season, and Derrick Henry. And then we all know that they do lack wide receiver. Traylon Burks is a great receiver, but after that, can you name their receivers? You know what I mean? Like that's probably the one team in the NFL you can't even name their receivers. That's how much you don't know who they are. So, Tennessee is a team that you can't just throw away. You can't just say Tennessee, oh yeah, well, they didn't have a great season last year. They finished 7-10, so yeah, it's gonna be tough. I was like, well, this team might have the most options out of everybody. You got a quarterback in Tannehill who probably would be seen as the best quarterback in the division if you could trust him. But you know what? When it comes down to winning, he's the most winning one. So you have that as an advantage to you. And then I have to agree with Jeff. Peterson went to a Super Bowl. Good for him. But he went there because that was a great team and that was a great situation. That was a great overall group. You had great coaches, you had great players. Everything was the perfect storm. In Jacksonville, he's had to build this thing up, and it's making him look really good. But when it comes down to the actual coaches, and you can coach up anything and they can win, it's variable all day, every day. He's been doing this, and he learned that from Bill Belichick. I just got to have guys that are willing to go out there and do whatever it takes to win the game, and that's why Tennessee still presents the element that they're the team in this division. I don't care what anybody says. They got the best player in the division, Derrick Henry. And when we really look at it, pound for pound, they probably have the best defense in this group as well, too, because they got a lot of high-paid players on that side of the ball. That's literally most of their cap is going to their top-end defensive players. And then Malik Willis presents a guy that can run a little bit, so you can use him in little gadget plays, little gimmick plays. Will Levis will probably be the only one that has to really learn on the job and have to be a backup, have the clipboard in his hand. But from what they said about him, he's decent too. So they have options in that area. So when I look at the fact that they have this team set up at this is not what they're set up at, not over 9.5, but what you call it, they're at 8.5. Sorry about that, but I can switch that in a second. But the championship odds are 275. I think that's where you play at. That's where your value lies at, is in the 275. I'm not picking them yet to win the division because I still got to get through this final week of preseason, who's going to get cut and all that good stuff and who's getting traded. But I think that Tennessee, when you look at who Tennessee truly is, they're a team that still has the landlord cap of the South. It doesn't matter what the Jacksonville Jaguars did. They just got here. Tennessee's been doing it. And yeah, they had a little bit of a fall off because they had a lot of injuries. But I think, though, at the end of the day, Tennessee is still the toughest team in this division. And that plus 275 is a good looking number. Your thoughts?
You got apples and oranges. Okay, we talked about a Jacksonville team that ended the season 8-2 or something like that, and Tennessee, the exact opposite. You got a team with Jacksonville that's ascending, young quarterback, generational. Calvin Ridley, weapons galore, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk. You got a backfield of ETN and Tank Bigsby. Now, what do you got in Tennessee? You got an aging quarterback with Tannehill. You got an aging running back with Derrick Henry, though they did draft Mr. Spears, who's looked great as well as his backup. But my point is, Treylon Burks, who was the reason why they traded A.J. Brown, got hurt in the preseason, is going to be out a few weeks. There's nothing but negativity going on from the outside looking in. But you go to the heart of this team, and the heart of the and soul of this team is Vrabel and Henry. And then they need a quarterback, a veteran quarterback of Tannehill, not to make mistakes, not to throw 4 and 5 turnovers a game. Can this team win the division? Yeah, maybe. They would need the perfect storm. They would need to win the turnover battle. They will need Derrick Henry to stay healthy. They have a tight end who I'm going to screw up his name, Okinawa or Okinowo, good tight end, ascending upwards. Okay, they need a lot of help here, but at the plus 275, I'm running to the window to play a plus 275 before I'm walking to a window to play a minus 275 pops.
Yep. And when it comes down to it, this division, man, is just so tough, Jeff. And that's what I keep trying to get people to understand, that we're gonna have a war here in the South. You know what I mean? And people have to just understand that it's gonna be real. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be tough. It's not gonna be easy game. So when you see the Texans playing against the Jaguars in Jacksonville, and they're coming off of a what you call it? They're coming off of a 30-point loss. That's the week that you got to take them. I know it sounds crazy, but hey, that's the week where everybody and their mama gonna say, "Oh, you know, man, Jacksonville's gonna romp them." I would never trust Jacksonville with a 9.5 point minus spread. I'm not gonna trust them with a 10 point spread because they're not they're not that type of team. And you have to understand, when certain teams get over over audit, you know what I mean, as I want to say, or or overlooked or underlooked, something of that nature. When you have a team that they put too much confidence in that isn't elite yet, that usually means that you need to go the other way because that team's about to get worked. So we'll see. And we have a lot of great things that we have to talk about when it comes to the NFC side, because, like I said, I knew that the South was going to be a very spirited talk, because where are we going in the South? That's the biggest question that we do have. So with this, we're going to take our first commercial break. And when I get back, we're going to go ahead